right, guys, here we go. If you're watching some video, this is going to be first time for this. If it comes out, it's just, you guys know how I am. This is the FL Nerd Talk. I got Brandon Calloway here with the creator of
Black Spartans.
Black Spartans. Damn, I had this on the tip of my tongue before I started it, too.
That's all right. That's all right.
And the Black Spartan is a story about mythical creatures and demons and monsters in a place called Lysteria, right?
Listeria, yeah.
Listeria. What came up? Where did that name come from? Like, what brought that name into you?
Oh man, so I was working on this for probably, I don't know, a year and a half or 2 years before I got to the actual writing phase. I was doing a lot of research, and I've heard that like the research can be a trap, and it definitely was for me. I felt like I said, a couple of years. But my original concept was based in Christianity, and like the angelic lore and all of that. And there was some city that I came across that sounded something like Listeria, and so I didn't want to use that exact name, and I changed it up a little bit. But honestly, it's been a year and a half, and so I don't remember what the original name of that city was.
All you know is that like it's there, and you're going to be keeping it.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Like it, whatever it was the inspiration for Listeria.
It's probably better that way, to be honest with you. Don't have to keep on drawing from that well over and over again. No, I get it completely.
Yeah.
And in this story, takes place like we talked about this before the podcast. It's like a medieval fantasy-esque type feel to it, mm-hmm. And we're following a character named Balbino, and we first meet this character Balbino. Excuse me. When he's trying to help a villager who's being attacked.
Yeah, and so the whole lore of I'm not gonna go in the whole lore of the world because it could
be a whole different show. That's a whole different podcast.
Yeah. Like I said, I did 2 years of research, so you can imagine. Like I got extensive lore.
Notebooks, right?
yeah, of lore, but the gist of it is that so this is a world where like you said, it is filled with monsters and demons and mythical creatures, and there's an empire of 6 kingdoms that are like they're heavily protected. They got this large army, they got large walls, and so they don't really have to deal with that, and there's all of these towns and villages and people that live outside of that kingdom, all right. And that are not as protected, not so protected from all of the things that go bump in the night and the day and all around. And so there are the real gist of it is there are guilds of hunters, and so these hunters go from city to city, town to town, picking up jobs to do what the knights of the kingdom would do, were they inclined to come outside of their walls. And so kind
of like they're Ronin in a way, like nightlife Ronin. Gotcha.
Yep. And so Balbino is coming from a small village, and he is excited to start his own hunter guild, and so as he is leaving, he just happens to stumble across some dude in the woods who is literally in the middle of being
literally in the middle of
being hunted down and chased by one of the monsters there, and so he jumps in and helps him out, and just instinctively, and it's kind of the issue 1 that you read is just it's the start of his whole journey. An issue, there's the first 12 issues are already planned out and wrote out. uh, and so he'll meet, you know, two other people, and you know, they'll recruit them to be the first two members of his guild, and then from there, you know, possibilities are endless.
So you're going to be going like kind of like forward and backwards when it comes like to telling this story. You're not going to be telling it in a straight line, I'm assuming.
Right, right. There's a lot of backstory that goes into to Balbino, and then you know his two guild members are Dionita and Amara, and there's backstory with both of them too.
We're gonna get to know them as well. Is what you're saying?
Yeah,
Right
yeah,
on.
yeah. uh and so yeah, you know, think of it as kind of like a mix between, you know, One Piece with a little bit of uh gosh what I don't know, oh, a little bit of The Witcher. uh
Okay, I can see
yeah,
that.
right,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Like from what I've read, I can definitely get that kind of feel from you, and that makes me think about one of these panels that happens here, where they're attacked by two creatures.
Yeah,
The villagers attacked by two creatures, and you see Balbino, or like you read that Balbino is going down to his knees, and say like, "Don't worry about a thing." Like, and like he goes down to his knees with his left knee bent, touching the ground, raises his left foot planted, holding out his right arm to the side of him, and he has this serious look in his face, and he says, "Rise." What was that scene all about? Like, why did you put that in there, and like didn't have what happened next happen? Like, what is that like more like an anime influence? Is that more like your comic book fandom? Is that like The Witcher coming inside of you? Like, put that like what brought that on, and why did Balbino do that at that moment?
yeah. And so that is more of the anime influence. And so at that's really the point of it, where the weapon system or the power system is introduced. And so, you know, there's extensive, you might even say a little bit too much, you know, again, research. So there's extensive, like the power system is somewhat extensive, but the basic thing there is that, you know, that certain people are certain people have bonded with a spirit in a past life, for, you know, reasons that it could go way too long with it, but certain people have bonded with spirits in a past life, and those and so those celestial spirits and those humans are now one, and those spirits are, you know, just housed or live or, you know, combined with the bonded with the soul of that person. And so that they're able to, so Balbino is able to, and the hunters are able to, you know, manifest that power in the form of a specific weapon.
It gets very Bleach in that
Yeah,
aspect, right? Because
yeah,
you also have
right,
like have a battle cry, Otakamaru, right?
right, yeah, yeah. Which is the name of the spirit, uh, and
That,
so
I'm guessing that also goes into like your anime influences, right?
exactly,
Right on.
exactly. Yep, yep. Yeah, and so that moment is really the introduction of, you know, the power system. You see because the weapons, and so it's not just him. All of the hunters, their weapons are housed literally in them, uh, because it is a physical manifestation, uh, of of their bonded spirit.
That's cool. That's really cool. So you have like the character do what he does. You draw all this out. You also have a comic book company called Macchiato doing the work for you. Are you excited about what they're doing with your character and like your work and bringing it to life? Are you excited like to see what you say? Some of it's already done, right?
Yeah, yeah, and so they are. I mean, we've done a few covers already. So the like we're launching the crowdfunding campaign in January. It's January 4th, and so it's coming up, and we got a couple of the covers are done. They're actually,
Posted on your page. Yeah.
yeah,
It
yeah,
looks like
and
a cloud berserk mixed with a little bit of Digimon. It's like it's all over the place, but honestly, it works, man. It really does.
yeah. It
Yeah.
really does. It really does. And you know, the first two actual pages are being done now, and so those will be previews that people can look at on I mean, obviously they'll be on my social media pages, but they'll also be featured on the Indiegogo campaign.
I'm really excited to see how this works out. I do love the look that you have with like all three hunters there.
Mm-hmm.
You got like the two women in like natural hair, which I'm a big fan of seeing inside the comic books because you don't see that as often as you do.
Yeah.
And you got like the armor. The armor is a little bit different on Balbino than it is on the other two characters, and I'm assuming that is because Balbino has a different status than they do. Is that part of the reason why? Or am I overreading it?
Uh, Probably a little bit overreading it.
Okay.
probably a little bit overreading it. Yeah.
Can you tell me anything about those two characters?
Balbinos are so. I mean, so one of the extensive things about the power system that is slowly, I don't even know if it's slowly, but is eventually revealed specifically over the first 12 chapters, is that so most people have just regular celestial spirits, and you might imagine, and so with that, the typical anime influence here, you can probably guess where this is going. Balbino has a demonic spirit. Right?
Okay. Hence the sword, right? Hence the way the sword looks.
Yep. Which is the first huge clue. But the demonic spirits, as you would logically imagine, are harder to control. And so one of the things that's specifically revealed, probably in issue 12, that at the end of volume 1. And so a little bit of a spoiler here, but that's all right. It'll still be exciting to see.
All right.
But so there's the armor, the Spartan symbol on his chest.
Right.
It has a seal, has a seal on the back of it, like a magical spell, and that seals in some of the demonic energy. And so when it comes off, in typical anime fashion, there's a somewhat of a uncontrollable power boost.
So Balbino has some layers to him, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. And one of the other characters' name is it Amara? Am I correct in saying that?
Mm-hmm.
Amara and Dianita?
Yep.
Or is it Dianita or Dianita?
Dianita
and Amara, and their costumes are much different. They have a lot of color inside of it, like a lot of blues, some yellows, even some white in some parts. They have no like a sigil on their chest or on their blades, so they're riding with this character Balbino, who does have like demon spirits inside of him, and they appear to seem like come from two different places considering their wardrobes.
They do. That's straight up. Yeah, that's right. They come from two different places.
That sounds interesting in itself. So why are they riding with Balbino? If you can tell me that.
Yeah. And so Dianita specifically, so she is introduced actually in the very next issue, in issue 2.
Okay.
And then Amara is introduced in issue 3. But and then actually, she's introduced in issue 3, and then there's a somewhat big of an arc there. But Balbino goes to Dianita's village, and the short version is that she has always wanted to be a hunter. Her village is relatively poor, so they can't afford to, because the villagers have to literally, put up their own money to.
So she trying to prove something of herself, is what you're trying to tell me.
Well, she gets the opportunity to join Balbino and go off and be a hunter, and knows that by leaving her village and doing that, she can actually send money back there, so that they can actually be more protected and hire more hunters. And
so this is more of an honor thing for Dianita.
Yeah. So she's more of the honorable one. And then when it comes to Amara, her story is a little bit darker, in that so I mentioned the the hunter guilds, and so because eh, while it is a dark fantasy thing, I mean, there's still human nature, it kind of in everything that we do, and so
Okay.
you could imagine that uh, if given the opportunity to create your own super powerful hunter guild and go around and kind of you know almost extort people for money, that there might be some bad apples in there,
Right.
and so the world of hunter guilds are like that. The Not all hunters are created with equal morals, and so you know there's there's even a hunter ranking system where
Wow.
the higher notoriety that your hunter guild gets, the bigger missions it can take on, the more money they
That's
get.
really cool. You put like some video game aspects inside this too.
Yeah,
I like
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. And so there's incentive for there's incentive for hunters to kind of take out each other, uh, and so Amara is actually the only one who so her parents were hunters, and her parents were taken out by other hunters,
So
and
this
so
is heritage.
yeah, and so uh, she has a somewhat righteous thing where they meet her. When they meet her, she is already kind of a rogue hunter that specifically is tracking down uh, just those bad apple hunters. Uh,
So
and
she's more the ethics when it comes to this type of story. She's like the
it's not necessarily an ethics thing for her. It's a little bit of ethics with a little bit of revenge
all
that
right.
because it's personal because personal for her.
Right on.
And so she's tracking down those bad apple hunters, those uh and so Dionita and Balbino actually come across her because she bites off a little bit more than she can chew. And they, in that, how fast they make friends in anime.
Right. Humble. Like
So
it's like a very
they,
fast, humbling experience. Right.
yeah, they meet her for a little bit. She ends up being in trouble. They're like, hey, that's the girl that we just met. and and they decide to help her out, and that one's actually drawn out over probably three or four issues.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, and so the issue one that you read was more of a one shot singular story. Issue two is kind of like that as well, and then three, four, five, and six uh, are drawn out to get a little bit uh, in which obviously with each issue we get deeper and deeper into the world, into the lore, into what's going on and why.
Like I think you pretty much said it in the last like couple of parts of this issue here. He says, "I want to build my guild, make a name for myself, and become the greatest hunter of all time." Like
Yeah,
it's very Deku when it comes to that, and very
yeah. I was thinking of Luffy when he was like, I want to become the
or
pirate.
or shonen. I guess I could just like it's very shonen of all of
Yeah,
that. So
yeah, yeah,
yeah, so I'm really excited to get on this. This seems like a really cool stuff. You got like a whole slew of creatures and characters you're throwing into this. A lot of demon looking type stuff. A lot of lot of lore. That like it seems like you're creating yourself and just putting together and just tossing into this world.
yeah.
Macchiato seems like they got a pretty good stable base with their art. And I see that some of your older art was created by a person named Pooh Alexander. Is that right?
Yeah. And so he's actually my concept artist. And
Great work, by the way. He
so
does such a great job.
yeah. I love that guy. And he's so he does a really great job of like really hearing what I have in my mind and bringing it to life. And then the guys at Macchiato were their work is obviously great in it. They do a really good job of replicating that style and getting pretty close and even potentially enhancing the style a little bit as well.
It seems like
Yeah,
they kind of have the same style that he has also. Like they kind
right.
of have his style, kind of put it a little bit towards there, but still like kind of respects what he's doing. and going from there. Like that's what I see when I look at the Mark Allen work and look at the Alexander's work here. Seems like you went for someone who is similar to his, similar to that same style like of anime that you wanted to have for your book, and like I think it'll be like a sweet little world you're creating here, man. Especially with this art along with it.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what you do. January can't come soon enough.
Yeah.
This is a point where I usually switch it up and ask people some questions about nerdy news, nerdy topics.
Yeah.
I did not ask you to bring anything, but I got a couple stuff for my palette I wouldn't mind talking about. There is a new. You're a comic book guy. You got a comic book coming out. It may be anime inspired, but I'm pretty sure you know about the lore of DC comic books and things like that.
Yeah.
There's new Batman. Tim Drake will be the new Tim Fox would be the new Batman, and he's the first black Batman. Like, what do you think about that, man? New character came. I think he came out in the late '80s, but he wasn't really seen or heard from since then. I think he popped up in Talk Alone in the New 52. He's the brother of Luke Fox, who is also Batwing.
Yeah, like that's that. So yeah, that's what I was.
They're creating like the House of Fox, man. The House of Fox is getting like the mantle of the bat inside of them, and for me personally, I'm excited. I'm really pumped for this. A Batman who looks like me, fighting crime, wearing a mask, doing his thing. It's gonna really change the perspective of how people see the whole punching to stop crimes. I want to see like how he handles this, considering his father is also a billionaire, just how Thomas Wayne was a billionaire. Like it has like a lot of nods to what we already know, and it's not just shoving it in our face. It's already there. Like I'm really excited to see how this goes. Like, what do you think about it?
Yeah, and so I will admit I did not know that.
I just found out today. Like the blurred view. He's big into like the history of DC. I just like it on the surface, but he told me like that Tim Fox is an older character. I didn't know that. I had no idea. So yeah.
Yeah, and so I mean I knew about Batwing. I feel like almost every black person.
There's been two. There've been two Batwing. One in South Africa and one in Fox. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I don't feel like it's a brand new concept. And I don't know. It's only logical, like right? The
has to be done. Has to be done.
Yeah, the mantle of Batman being passed around from person to person, and you know,
as real white dude, dick, right? Yeah,
so
exactly.
So yeah. I think it'd be cool. I think it'd be it'd be interesting to see where they go with it. And then I always feel like it's interesting and funny to see how angry and upset everybody gets in there.
Over fictional characters, no less. Yeah. They're not even real, dude. Yeah. But like, would you ever want to write for a story like that? Like, could you see yourself writing a Batman story?
A Batman story?
Yeah.
Probably. I mean, yeah, probably.
Right.
I love Batman villains.
I was gonna ask, like, who would be the villain you put into the story if you wrote one?
Man,
I know, like the list is endless. You got Ivy, you got Mr. Freeze, you got Joker, you got Riddler, you got all those guys.
Yeah, and I hate to be so cliche, but so.
I'm just saying, come on, let me know.
I like crazy.
So Joker is in, right?
Yes. Yeah. like I don't like the.
You can go pretty wild with it. He's no whole bar.
How the magnitude,
yeah,
like crazy that the Batman villains show, and even Riddler, like.
Yeah, he goes pretty crazy.
Pretty crazy dude too. Yeah. You know, like,
they lend you to do whatever you want to do. Like your imagination is endless when it comes to those characters. Yeah. No, I hear you, man.
Yeah, and so I don't know. I would probably go more Riddler than Joker because
I get that.
Because everybody would go Joker. I mean, yeah.
I would tell a cool Mr. Freeze story, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like I know like Tim King did some cool things with the Mr. Freeze. I think I can tell a pretty cool Mr. Freeze story with this new Tim Fox. I think I can do that.
Yeah, I just I feel like it's a cliche to say Mr. Freeze is cool.
Well, you just said it. So
yeah,
there's
he's a cool character, but he's just he ain't crazy enough
no. He's just very driven. He's just a very driven guy.
Yeah.
So where can people find you, man? Where can people find you on social media?
You can find me on Facebook at the Black Spartan Project, the Black Spartans Project. Same thing on Instagram, Black Spartan Project. You can find Brandon Calloway on Facebook and Instagram. I'm not on Twitter.
Give it time. You'll be there.
Give it time. I was talking to my wife about it last night, and I was like, I want to get on Twitter, but I don't. I want to be on Twitter, but I don't want to get on Twitter. So yeah.
You gotta watch what you say on Twitter. Let's just put it that way. Like whatever you say on Twitter, you gotta watch your P's and Q's.
Exactly. That is exactly what I said. No, I'm gonna get on there, and somehow I'm gonna get canceled. So
yeah. No. So Easy does it.
Yeah.
Easy. I do castings like for movies and TV shows and things like that, and you get some reactions. You get some reactions. So yeah, gotta watch what you say on Twitter. It's good for the soul, though. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's good for the soul.
Yeah, she shows me, like, there's a lot of funny stuff that she shows me every now and then, and which makes me want to get on, but I don't know.
Maybe next year. Who knows? next New Year's resolution. You never know. I know I just asked you where you're from, like where all your things are. That's usually like my signals, like this is the end of the episode, but I forgot to ask the same thing I ask everybody every episode. It's like, what would you want your audience to know about you and what you're doing with Black Spartan, man? What would you want everybody to know about you?
So one of the things that I'm really excited about what I'm doing with Black Spartan is that, I do care. I care if people like my stuff. I do.
We all do, man. Of course so.
Right? I'm human. But when I'm writing it, I'm honestly just writing what I like. Just writing what I would like to see. And so like I wrote like even in that first script, and I let a couple of my friends read it, and like out of 4 of them was like, oh, this is great. And then one of them was like, well, man, why don't you do this and this and this? And I was like, yeah, I did ask you for feedback, but honestly, I like what I have, and I don't like what I have. And so, because his point was like, well, if he did this, it would sell more. If he did this, it would sell more.
Not like, about the money, though. Yeah.
I can see that, but I was watching a Stan Lee interview about how he writes, and his point was just that, he just writes what he likes to write. He just writes what he would like to read.
Yeah.
So that is honestly just straight up. That is what I'm doing with Black Spartan, and so I hope everybody else, likes it too. But it is honestly what I would like to see.
Right.
Which is why, like I my character, like you talked about the natural hair on the two girls, and like my characters are black, and they just are. We don't make a big deal about them being black,
as they should not be.
The people in this book is black, like they just black.
Period.
And so yeah, it's just what I like.
Feels good, right? Feels good to put this out there. No, I hear you. Right on, man. Like it sounds like a passion project. If you're gonna cry, go ahead and do so. Like the world is watching, so get it out there. No shame, man. I cry all the time. But I hope this does well. I can't wait for January. Hopefully we can do something on Instagram, like on a live, and just talk about like the Kickstarter or Indiegogo you got going on, because I'm pumped for this. I want to see where this goes. So we'll keep in contact. We'll keep on talking. FTL Nerd Talk. Brandon of Black Spartan Project. Dude, great book. I'm all about this story. I really want to see it in action. I probably need to get Macchiato like on the show. I hope they can bring me a Macchiato while I'm talking to them about Macchiato. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, that's a bad joke. Anyways,